Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Curlon with MWO Comp. As you hopefully know, this is the MWO Championship Series 2019. Tonight, we've got a Stage 2 Round 2 matchup. 228 versus 228, unit-on-unit violence. It's the Black Watch versus Dark Riders. Black Watch has the home seed. We're going to get right into the bans as both teams are actually ahead of schedule and on time. So we're going to reward them for that by getting things rolling. Also, as you've probably already noticed, I'm flying solo tonight. Ash isn't available for this one. This is a 8 versus 8 full conquest series. Tonight is going to be best of 3. Teams have 5 maps to choose from. We got Alpine Peaks, Canyon Network, Caustic Valley, Mining Collective, Tourmaline Desert. Both teams have links to their bans. We're just going to wait for them to get rolling. As they ban, results will pop up here. And actually, no, they won't until I do. Oh, yeah, that is correct. All right, so Blackwatch has banned Caustic Valley. Now waiting to see what Dark Riders ban in response. And I'm sorry to see Caustic Valley go so quick. We don't get to see much action on that. When we get later in this tournament, it's going to be best of 5 instead of best of 3. They're going to have to play Caustic Valley. So, waiting on Dark Riders to make their choice. I'm going to be semi-distracted. Again, I'm flying solo, so I get to watch chat. I got to maintain the scoreboards. I got to play with the lobbies. I got to play with OBS. Normally, I can cheat and let Ash do all the talkie-talkie, but instead, you strike out with me. So as noted, we're just waiting for Dark Riders to decide what map they're going to ban. That will tell us the 3 maps we're going to play on tonight. So going back to overview. Best of 3. This is a double elimination stage, so a loss here does not punt the team from the tournament completely. But they will have to fight their way back up through the losers bracket to get into the finals. Looking at what's been played so far, you've got 31st Hussar Regiment is going to be coming up through the losers bracket, having 1 loss in this stage. RJF Erie going to have to fight up through. Ghosts of Nox, Stronomecti, Tons of Rust, and Russian League 13. You'll be seeing again playing in the losers bracket to try and make their way back into the finals. So on the flip side, we've had Clan Crossfire, Phoenix Legion, Eon Synergy, JGX, Majestic 12, and are still in the winners bracket. And just take a quick look back at chat to see if there are some issues with Dark Riders, as I'm not seeing them banned yet. This is the excitement of doing things live when everyone is spread across the world and you're only coordinating via chat. Keeping everyone on the same page can be a challenge. So while we wait for them... Okay, there we go. So, Mining Collective is out also. That means we're going to be going on Alpine Peaks, Canyon Network, or Tourmaline Desert. Actually, a little surprised to see Mining Collective go. Tends to be somewhat popular. It's usually either toss-up between that or Alpine Peaks being one of the bands. Alpine... So, Blackwatch has opted for Alpine Peaks to be the first drop. So that tells me they're confident in their trading and control of larger maps. Dark Riders selected Tourmaline Desert as drop number 2. If we get to it, Canyon Network will be our decider. So now we're just waiting for the teams to decide who's going to be drop A versus drop B. Sorry, Team 1 versus Team 2. Okay, so 228 has opted to be Team 2 for Alpine Peaks. We're then going to flip it. Dark Riders will be Team 1, Blackwatch will be Team 2 for drop number 2. And we're going to flip it again for Canyon Network if we get there. We are going to have Dark Riders as Team 1, Blackwatch as Team 2. Okay, so first drop of the evening is going to be Alpine Peaks. So let's head over to the map strat. Let's bring up Alpine Peaks. I cheat and get my copy open here so I can see what was chosen. Alright, so here's the fun map. As noted, this is full conquest. I'm going to break away for a moment, get teams in lobby. Which means that will be correct. Okay. I've got them in. We're going to get... We get Team 2 in. Once they're in, we give each team 5 minutes to get themselves sorted as far as mechs and lances. Okay. So, timer has started. And the chat shenanigans are already going in the private lobby, which you'd expect. These are both 228 people. They all know each other. Actually, everyone in comp pretty much knows each other. So we're going to see how they set themselves up. Tonnages are off for both sides, so be a moment while we get things figured out. Now, excellent. I see we're up to Mapman on the stream. So, as always, this is a 5-minute delay, which sucks for chatting with you guys. The good news is, however, live from MWO Comp is going to be wandering around in chat. Pay attention to what he's posting. He will be doing giveaways in there. We're not going to be doing them with the Latch giveaway tool. And chat is getting interesting. So, I don't know if that's an approved talking point. This is the fun of doing this, is you don't get to see what's going on because we do want to hide things a little bit just in case we have to do redrops, etc. So, unlike normally, can't show you the lobby. But while we wait for them, again, this is 8v8 full cap. Teams are limited to 480 tons. Only allowed a max of 1 of any given chassis. So no duplicates. Heroes are allowed. And you're allowed at most 3 in any given weight class. So no all light rushes. As entertaining as that would be. So looking at what I'm seeing at the moment. Dark Riders are setting up Charlie Bravo. So unless they've got an extremely fast mech in Bravo, they're probably going to ignore the Gamma Cap to start out. Okay. They've locked with 2 minutes to spare. Now, let's see where Blackwatch decides to put their mechs. And you won't hear this for 5 minutes, but get active in chat. I can see some of you are already going. Who we got visiting? I see Morticia Million, Pugstar, Gilkuda, Reckless. Good, so we got some regulars in here. Now, the other thing that's going to be interesting, Dark Riders, for their first drop, are going to be under-tonned. Now, remember, I said they can't go all lights, but that does not mean you have to bump up against 480 tons perfectly. So, we'll see how they roll. Blackwatch is starting to get things maneuvered around. Now this is actually looking to be interesting. And yes, I know I've got the colors backwards on the map. But we got Charlie Drop Zone full. Alpha mostly full with a singular mech in Bravo. So, are they going to rush Gamma with 3 mechs? And then try a wrap? Or are these 3 mechs going to set up in this hilly region? Okay, both teams are locked. To heck with me speculating. Let's see what they're going to do. Alright. Seen it. Oh. Alright, we are holding. We have a crash. And my client has gone nuts on me. This is a great start.
Online. Sensors online.
Coming in.
Weapons
Capture and
online.
hold the
All
resource
systems
point.
normal.
Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Well, as we can see, we get an idea. Oh, come on, client, really?
Airstrike online.
So, we got the fun of there we go. Sometimes spectator client is not all it's cracked up to be.
We have gained Epsilon.
So,
Kappa is under enemy control.
Dark Riders are bringing a Hellbringer, Battlemaster, Flea, Hunchback 2C, Madcat 2C, Rifleman,
Theta is
Linebacker,
controlled by the
Incubus,
enemy.
versus Blackwatch bringing Battlemaster, Catapult K2, Flea,
Captured resource point Sigma.
Incubus, Stalker, Blackjack, Hellbringer, and a Warhammer 2C. So they did throw me both for a loop a little bit. No one's going for Gamma at the moment. There's the cap. Okay, so Blackwatch did send one of their units over to Gamma. Right now, this is pretty much just the staging portion of the game. So we got Dark Riders running 3 mechs down here through Sigma. Gonna get staged up on this high point. I'll work these 2 hills as well. Prisman is going to be staying high in the back. Expect lots of blue lightsabers out of him. Meanwhile, Blackwatch did send Panic up on the hill. We've got Dom over here in the Incubus doing possible Zimbabwe flanks. Theta, as usual, is kind of the hot spot at the moment. Blackwatch has got 3 mechs. Making a little bit of a line. They've got eyes on Theta, but not really making a push for it. Got some PPC trading. This is really the boring portion of the match. Just waiting for everyone to get set up. Now, Edmeister in the Flea. He's got 2 mechs with eyes on him. Dark Riders positioning a 3rd. Strike, and he's still dancing, trying to get that cap point. That's just not going to work. Multiple strikes going out, but not really doing much at the moment. Everyone's just basically scratching each other at distance. Panic at 98%. Basically just had the wax disturbed on his mech and that's it. Come over here, take a look at Dom. 79%, so he's probably eaten a strike at this point. Backing down off that hill after putting the UAV up. Taking a peek from the side now. More blue lightsaber action and Hadokens, as Prototellus likes to call them. Hill control by Blackwatch. Admiral Korean G is just eating a bit of a strike there, down to 78% in his Stalker. It's still no real massive damages yet. Tickets are in Blackwatch's favor, so Dark Riders are going to have to do something sooner rather than later. Because just sitting back and having a tickle fight is not going to win them the match. Strikeout. Kirin Yagami dodged most of that. 91% in that Mad Cat 2C. Again, not real danger yet. Green Jesus down to 69% in his Stalker. PPC's flying, but even Supreme in the linebacker, taking a little bit. Curious what's in that linebacker. 2 heavy large, 4 ER Meads, so I need to get a little closer really to do much with that mech just yet. 82%, and at the moment all he's really doing is collecting PPCs at a distance. Dom and his Incubus has got 2 mechs trading on him, potentially a third, depending on who the Dark Riders looks his way. Another strike. Ineffective. 472 to 323, Dark Riders need to move. It's time to put the pillows down. Make something happen, guys. Another strike coming in. This is going to be against Chrisman. I think he's going to successfully dodge it. Now, we've got some movement from Dark Rider. Now, changing their setup points. Mean Machine in the linebacker, finally making a push. He's down to 57%, 56% PPC shots coming in. He's overheated in a really bad spot. Got lucky he didn't pay more for that. Backing right up into Oblivion's line of sight, however. 51%, 50. His mech is halved. So he's going to be having heat management problems. And it's not a cool loadout he's got. Just getting picked down. So 600 tickets to 400 tickets. Down a mech. This is not looking good for Dark Riders. Matt and the Flea, 82%. Dark Riders are starting to collapse towards Theta and Kappa. Blackwatch is content to pretty much stay where they are, work these control points, and just pick them apart. This is like watching a kid pull a fly apart wing by wing, leg by leg. No big hits, just slowly needling them down. Malcolm is down to 63% in that Hunchback 2C. Good burn against Archon, though. Down to 73% Oblivion, 62% in the Catapult. Dark Riders are returning fire, but it is not advancing the game for them. And the damage numbers are real. Ow! Okay. Catapult dropped on Blackwatch, but they get a trade for it and another mech. So we're now down 2 mechs for 228.
The
Alcom in the line of fire, but tickets are going to call it before damage does. So, bit of a stalemate match. Alright, let's see if this works for a change. Okay, so there's your damage numbers as we drop back into the lobby. And again, this match was pretty much a stalemate. Blackwatch was able to get 3 caps by grabbing Gamma in addition to their 2 home caps for their drops. Dark Riders got their 2 native cap points, but nothing else, and tried to hold position and trade. We're not able to make a push out of it. No real team damage, which you wouldn't expect. We didn't have a brawl. There was no scrum. No one misdropped a strike where they shouldn't have. Damage numbers are fairly low, because again, this was pretty much a pillow fight on both sides. Everyone was at max distance, just scratching at each other. Ultimately, when Dark Riders did start to make a push, and they were forced to by the ticket count, those mechs that made the push got chewed up as they strung themselves one at a time into Blackwatch's optimal range. Your top damage for Dark Riders was Meme Supreme at 387. On the Blackwatch side, it was Archon Adam Steiner in the Battlemaster. So let me tally up the numbers. That was a win for Blackwatch with 3 kills. Dark Riders did at least get a kill on the board. Now, I'm actually going to flip us back over to the map ban. So we're going to Tourmaline Desert for our second drop of the evening. Going to get mechs or pilots here swapped around. And of course, the fun of this, for those of you that are familiar with the private lobby interface, I'm staring at 2 teams that all have the same 228 tags. So I have to go on basically rote memory as far as who's on what squad. Now flip the scoreboard. Let's go back to the lobby. Turn you off. I've started the clock. Team 1 has 5 minutes to get themselves sorted. As you can see flashing up there, information about the series. As noted, AV8 Conquest, 480 max tons, strikes are allowed, we're not banning weapons. These are the rewards teams are going to get. Teams that played in the comp queue are going to get the top 30 rewards that you saw there for the most part. I think we actually had more than 30 teams participate, so 2 tiers of rewards there. If you didn't take advantage of the comp queue to at least get some playtime in and get the rewards, you missed out on a decent chunk of change. Take a quick look at chat and see what Live has been up to. He's been already giving stuff away. Excellent. I like when Live throws prizes out. Blackwatch has still got a little under 4 minutes to get prepped. So while we wait, what do you guys like so far about the series? What haven't you liked? What do you want to see differently? Throw it out there in chat. You got Live watching while he's doing the giveaways. You can also jump on the MWO Comp Discord. We've got a feedback channel. Let us know there what your thoughts are. You know, some things we can improve. Some things we might not necessarily be able to do just because of limitations of the game, etc. But we won't know if you don't tell us. And if you really like what you're seeing and you want to support the teams, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, there is a running tally of donations. This is a community-funded tournament, so the prize pool comes from you. When you're bidding in that prize pool, you can actually do stuff like there were... you could buy training from some of the top teams if you wanted. There's also a goal, if we hit $2,500, Ash will do a stream in a tutu. That may drive some people away, but hey, you got a chance to mess with a streamer. Have at it. So, while we let them do their thing, let's go take a look. I'm not going to bother doing the map strat. It was pretty simple. 3 caps to 2 caps. And then no movement. Not real exciting to draw. But now, new map. Tourmaline. So this time, Blackwatch is Team 1, Dark Riders are Team 2. Blackwatch being the more experienced squad of the two. This map's a little more interesting in that Theta... Yeah, let's pick a color that's going to stand out nicely. Yeah, that'll work. Theta is hittable from all sides. You can't necessarily park on this map as easily. With the cap points being spread out, it's much harder to sit on a 3 cap and just wait for the clock to run out. You're going to end up having to be spread thin. You're going to leave a cap open for the other side to potentially sweep out from under you. Forces a little bit more action. That said, there are common control points to watch out for. I'm going to expect to see some mechs watching from here. Sometimes posting up in the back here. This region is good. You'll tend to see mechs other side posting up here. Few different control areas, or you can go all in and brawl it out. If you're going to do it, you have to commit, and you've got to be quick, because you've got a lot of map to cover before you get into the other team, and if they're good with their trading mechs, they will rip you to shreds before you get in their face. So, see what happens. And we've exceeded 5 minutes. I'm not a ref. You may have seen them asking me about that at the start of that first drop where there was a little bit of confusion due to a crash. but I do get to crack the whip a little bit with the 5-minute timer. So, Black Watch, and we'll try and use the right colors this time. They're stacking up 4MX Alpha, 4MX Bravo. Kind of your standard setup. You don't see many teams placing a mech in Charlie unless they're going to make a bonsai dive for Kappa early. So what I'm going to expect is they're going to try for an Epsi Theta Gamma control strategy. If we see Dark Riders stack Charlie, my guess is going to be a flank push around the edge. But I don't anticipate that being what they do. Instead, looks like they're going to go Alpha Beta. And makes things interesting. They can try. They'll at least back cap Sigma. Okay, and they both set, so I'm not going to guess. Instead, we're going to get right to it and see exactly what they do. So Dark Riders, at this point, need a win to stay in this particular match. Black Watch is up 1 with that Alpine match. We know where both teams are stacking up. So, as I was going to say on the strat, I expect Dark Riders to send one mech back here to grab Sigma. Then the question becomes, do you try for Kappa, which is kind of out of the way for both sides, do a Sigma Kappa Theta, or do you try and contest Epsilon knowing that they've got mechs in the area as well? We're about to find out. I'll pull back, watch this from this perspective for a moment. As you can see, we've got both Black Watch and Dark Riders diving on Theta. Black Watch is going to get there first. Edmeister in the Flea. Dark Riders are going to give up on that push for it. Meanwhile, looks like they're going to be able to get Epsi. Black Watch is not going to contest it.
We have Gamma.
Beam Supreme is going to stick around just in case. Okay. So, Black Watch is pulled off Theta. Meme is trying to get an idea to see who's got Overwatch at this point. We got... There's your back cap for Dark Riders. Brisbane the Hellbringer is up here in a high control point. Dark Riders are doing a strong push on the Epsi side. That was the other... Ooh, Iron Kilo ate a bit of that strike, down to 89% already. We're not even 2 minutes into the match. So we've got 2 Dark Riders on this control point. 3 of them streaming their way slowly over to Epsilon. Black Watch, meanwhile, has gotten the long Kappa push. So Black Watch once again has a 3 cap control, but they went with different cap points than I was expecting. Again, now the onus is on Dark Riders to do something. Meme Supreme has pushed up heavily into what should be Black Watch's area, but he's found a little bit of a pocket where they don't have good Overwatch on him. Taking a look. He wants to tag Theta, but he's wary. Meanwhile, you got Mad Cat and the Flea is a little quicker. Blackwatch does not have anyone up in this normal castle area. Their mechs are all further back, so Mad Cat should be able to cap this, and I think the only thing Blackwatch is going to be able to do is a strike. I don't think they've got direct shots on him, but meanwhile, look what we got going on in the back. Linebacker, Wolfhound, and Arctic Wolf, and a Flea, all in the back of Dark Riders. Chrisman, Meme, you guys, you got your 3 cap, but you've got trouble brewing behind you. Dark Riders are starting to ball up a little bit. Iron Kilo's looking back. He's realized what's going on. Chrisman is aware. That strike's not going to bother anyone. So, Dark Riders, Linebacker, Cyclops, Vapor Eagle, Mad Cat 2, Wolfhound, Warhawk Prime, Flea, Arctic Wolf. Sigma, which should have been Dark Riders, has been capped back by Blackwatch. Blackwatch is getting herded back here into Epsilon. Give you the high-level overview. You can see these mechs have been picked away at. Oh, we got Olden the Wolfhound coming back here. Gonna get back shots on Totok the Potato Hunter. Takes a poke, pulls back. Totok is down to 63%. At the moment, Blackwatch is more beat up. But strike out. Is that going to tag anyone? It is not. This positioning is setting up Dark Riders to get pincered by Blackwatch as this back squad comes back through Theta. They're not decapping yet because they've taken damage. Dark Riders are in an interesting spot. They don't really have a fallback position at this point now. So the question is, which face of Blackwatch do you end up pushing through? Iron Kilo down to 45%. His mech is hurting. We got 3 Dark Riders now trying to work the backs of Blackwatch to take some pressure off their mechs at Theta. PPC's flying. Admiral Korean Jesus and the Cyclops down to 51%. Potentially, and whose strike was that? Okay, that was his strike. He manages to collect Defunct Decon with a hit on that. Meanwhile, the rest of the Dark Riders balled up. They take out the Cyclops. Now moving on, one last bite and Totok. Dark Riders, I like what they're doing. Can they do it quick enough? Tickets are going against them. 490 344. Meme Supreme in the linebacker finally gets cleaned out. So we are back to 7-on-7. Totok down to 39%. Really having to be careful now. We'll see where this front is going here. Iron Kilo's managed to avoid much more damage since the last time we looked at him. Oblivion still trying to get that Theta flip. Epsilon is about to go to Blackwatch as well. Dark Riders are about to lose this on caps again. It is now 4-1 in Blackwatch's favor. Blackwatch has managed to very effectively herd the Dark Riders out of control points. They've got them balled up now. Iron down to a strike. Nicely placed by Totok. Oblivion down to 38% in his linebacker. Really? The Flea for Dark Riders goes down. That Hurton linebacker manages to drop a Mad Cat. However, Krisman is not pleased with this. He's going to try and take Oblivion out. Edmaster takes out the Hunchback 2C in the background there. 2v1 fight. Krisman versus Oblivion and Edmeister. Krisman came into this with more armor. But 2v1, about to be a 4v1. Oblivion overheats. Krisman doesn't have the DPS at this point to survive that fight and goes down.
Resource point Theta is ours.
At this point, Defunct is it at the last control point for Dark Riders and is not able to swing it. So, that's 2-0. 2-0, Blackwatch over Dark Riders. Yeah, let's get the fancy stats. So, there's your fancy stats. I'm going to update the scoreboard. I'll take a quick look at the numbers. I'm going to jump back into the game. So, neither match was your normal blowout with one team trashing the other team completely. In this case, Dark Riders still had a mech on the field. Prior match, there were only 4 kills total. But Blackwatch was able to herd and control the map much better than Dark Riders, ultimately ending with a 4-1 cap lead. They didn't need to make the kills. So, that is going to put Dark Riders into the losers bracket. They are not out of it. Blackwatch continues along in the winners bracket. Blackwatch will be playing the winner of RGF versus Comstar Postal Service. And let's see here. Don't know who Dark Riders will be playing next. It's going to either be Stranomekti or 31st Hussar Regiment. So, I'll flip this back to the lobby. So, Stage 2, Round 2. North America, 228 versus 228. 228 wins. Blackwatch over Dark Riders. And in both cases, Blackwatch was able to execute map control just a little bit better. That said, Dark Riders did put up a good fight, but I think this was mostly a case of experience versus a newer team. Lots of experienced players on both sides. However, Blackwatch as a unit has been around longer, functioning as a squad, than Dark Riders. So, a little bit more cohesion, more prior knowledge of strats to pull on and plan around. Dark Riders just need a little bit more cohesion, a little bit more time working on strats and responses to them to play at this level. That said, they did put up a good fight. Looking forward to see what they can do in their next match. They are not out of this yet. Take a quick look at chat. And Live has been having fun with his giveaway triggers. I'm going to call it for the evening. We will have more matches this weekend with the rest of the round 2 matches. Don't know who's locked in to stream that yet. Possibly Ash. So tune in Saturday for those when you see the notification that MWO Leagues has gone live. Thank you all for joining me. Have a good evening. Congratulations to both teams. Blackwatch, Dark Riders, look forward to watching you guys fight again.